Hi VC vinyl community. I'm still called Martin if you don't know me. I've been around about, could it be about 7, 8 years? I'm not sure. Not as long as some people, but a fair amount of time in the UK here. Want to whiz through this Vinyl Tag 2021. Try not to keep you too busy because there's so many to watch, and I've seen quite a lot of them. There's been some pretty good ones. So without further ado, these are the questions that Tales from the Crate did. Could it only have been last week? I don't know. Anyway, so right, discovery of 2020 was a bit of a rediscovery for me. I did a couple of videos recently about Madonna, and I sort of rediscovered her really. This album that I bought on vinyl just because I found it was 2019, so it's pretty recent, and it's Madame X. And what can I say about it? It's definitely quite varied, but there's a lot of worldy sort of music on it, and I haven't been into Madonna for a long time, so this has sort of changed my idea about her. That although she's been stuck in her vocoder period and a bit of a rut for a while, I also went back and rediscovered some of the tracks from some of the albums from the last, say, 15, 20 years or so. Although they're not as good as earlier stuff or whatever, I sort of thought this was a pretty good album, and at least she's trying something different. So, right, let's crack on. A quarantine buy. I think I got this during the quarantine. So there's a Christian band called, or was a Christian band called Delirious, and they were around 90s, I suppose. It's sort of like indie rock, that kind of area. So Army of Bones is Martin Smith and some local guys, I presume that he knows in Brighton, that kind of area. And this is 2017, so I was only about 3 years late with this. It's not overtly Christian in the words as in worshipy, but the lyrics are definitely in that area, shall we say, without mentioning, Jesus or whatever. There is one track called Ecclesiastes, actually. It's a good album. It's just a really good album. I don't know that the pressing's that brilliant, but I just found it cheap somewhere. Right, next one. Let's crack on. 3 minutes already. An album to find in 2021. So for a long, long time, I've been trying to do another sample album that I sent to some of you. Could that have been about 3, 4 years ago? And it got on a local kind of sort of cut and paste sort of label. That's my style. So this is the project that I'm working towards, and I've done some tracks. I'm sure this year I will get it put out, even if it's just disc cover and a CD whacked in there. Nice bit of 70s textured wallpaper there. Look at that, lovely. Next one was a box set, wasn't it? I didn't even have to look at that. Well, I don't have a satellite dish, and I don't think I ever will. So here it is, what everybody wants. It's the Sky box set. So that is the first Sky 2 and Sky 3, all in that original sleeves, featuring Sky classics including Toccata, Carillon, Sahara, Vivaldi and Mexico. Yeah, with a removable sticker. Cost £1 from somewhere, I think. Right, concept album, was it now? Concept album. I had a 12-inch of this back in the 90s. I think it might have been a remix or something, not sure. I don't know what happened to it, I've no idea. Anyway, this is Porcupine Tree Voyage 34. I think it's like some sort of trip on acid, and I never thought I would get this. I'm not even sure I knew it was out, to be honest. I got it from a record fair. It's remastered 2016, so it must have been out. and it was somebody had come across lots of albums. I think the people at this record fair, they were like taking all the stuff out of an HMV store or something, stripping it all down. They got paid in loads of records, and they ended up turning up in record fairs around this sort of area where I live, and they were knocking albums out. As you know, HMV in the UK is really expensive for what it is, so they were knocking albums out for a fiver. So unfortunately, a lot of the record fairs that they went to, they took away a lot of the customers. I think they're pretty much hardly any stock left now, from what one of the guys said to me. So I don't suppose we'll see that like again. Anyway, can't complain for that, can you? Next, an album with a band that changed direction. So I went for Happy Mondays, changed to Complete Direction, I think, sort of. Most of the members were involved in this Black Grape debut album with Kermit added, and this is a great album. White label promo. So I used to work in a record shop in the 90s, and well, I ended up with these, amongst other things. I was going to show my Slow Dive 12-inch, but I think I've shown that before. So here's Blur Bang from the debut album, when they were more poppy, I suppose you would say, before they got all arty. Nothing wrong with that. And this is a one-sided 12-inch of Pop Scene, which I don't think was on an album. Right, let's pick this up. Compilation album from when I was living in Finland, in Helsinki. There's the sticker there, a record shop called Black and White, €5. So this is late 60s cover versions of well-known songs done by, I think, mostly sort of UK R&B singers. You'll know the songs. You may know some of the singers. The singers are mainly Mac, Kissoon, Jimmy Powell, Don Farden, and that's pretty much it. £5 that was. Sorry, €5. Right, next one. An album I have a story about. Well, unfortunately, I had a mate that passed away last year, and he had a lot of more CDs and records. If you watch my videos and you're a regular, you'll know. Well, I ended up with some Paul Weller albums back again, which I think I swapped with him years and years ago, like 90s when they came out, his solo first 3 albums. And this was another album that I think I actually gave to him as a present, but I got it back in the end. This is Jimmy Tenor, Finnish artist who works a lot, or had worked a lot, with Tony Allen and Kabu Kabu. So it's African, similar to Tony Allen collaboration called Fourth Dimension, and it's 2009. Next, I keep putting the book down and can't remember what it was. So that was that. An album that needs a vinyl pressing. Well, in a way, I'm not that fussed. CDs are fine by me, and it's not really that much necessary. I mean, I suppose the good thing about reissues is, to me, if you get an original copy of something, and it's not great quality, but it gets you into something, then at least if you get a repress, I would sort of not be too fussed about it. Anyway, this is a Finnish rock, power metal, do they say, band called HB Frozen Inside. It's Christian again, and it's pretty good, to be honest. You wouldn't guess that. What am I trying to say? I'm not going to say you wouldn't guess it was Christian, but it is. It's pretty good. I saw them live actually once. Next one is a common album and an uncommon album. So end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s. Whew, a lot of the big switch over from vinyl, tape, CD. That transition happened so quickly that George Michael's Faith album is my common album. You're going to find that knocking about quite a lot, like a lot of albums. But by the time, when was this? I think this was 1990, so in a couple of years, Listen Without Prejudice, Volume 1, you don't get this knocking around. I could say this. Could have said this about Tears for Fears as well, but when Seeds of Love came out, there wasn't so much of it. Apparently, that's quite a rare one as well. EPs. Well, it was rather an EP, but I chose quite a few. Pretty much all 50s, 60s, and an EP I would describe as 4 tracks. I've been quite specific on this one. So somebody slagged off Herman's Hermits, didn't they, recently in the VC? Can't remember who. Here is an EP of them doing Dandy, yes, Leaning on a Lamppost, Dial My Number, and Story of My Life. You will know all these songs, probably. So that's EP number 1. Then we've got Frankie Vaughan. If you ever saw Lipstick on Your Collar, the Dennis Potter serialised on TV on Channel 4. A couple of these songs, I think The Green Door and The Garden of Eden ended up on that with Ewan McGregor standing on desks of the ministry. This one is even described, 33 and a third EP. This is the Magic Sounds of Torbay, with Johnny Morris, the Animal Magic impersonator. Reflections by Johnny Morris, music by Bill Bramwell. There we go. So I can go to the seaside even during lockdown. A Spanish EP here. Guitar based pop. Green, Watermelon Man, and also a great version of America from West Side Story. And some Beatles songs in the style of classical music. So you've got Yesterday in the style of Tchaikovsky's First Piano Concerto, All My Loving, Emperor Concerto, Beethoven, From Me to You, Mozart's Piano Concerto, and Grieg's Piano Concerto, Michel. Right, girl group, a Danish trio, 2009, I think, and this band is called Darling Don't Dance. Saw this, £3 in Oxfam. Quite rare to find a reasonably priced record in Oxfam. It's a bit Babes in Toyland, maybe, I guess. That sort of bit Riot Girl, grungy sort of thing going on there. An album cover you like. I chose Baker Gurvitt's Army because I actually bought this album on the strength of the cover. I don't remember how much it was, a few pounds. Ginger Baker. Yeah, I just thought it was a great cover. It's actually not a bad album, to be honest with you. I haven't got anything else by them. Yeah. Next one is Various Artists compilation. I think when Tales from the Crate did it, it was an album. An album you've listened to a lot first. Sorry. Have I got this in the wrong order? No, maybe not. Classic House, Volume 1, slightly battered. The Master Cut series from the 90s, of which there was stacks of them. You'd know half of these tunes probably. An album you have an OG copy. I didn't really know what OG actually meant, which I feel a bit ashamed about. I went for an original copy of the Prodigy Experience debut. Right, in a video I will be doing my last purchased album because I haven't opened it yet. Keep you in suspense about that one. An album not for squares. King Missile Mystical Shit. probably offend lots of people. There's some interesting songs on here. The most famous being Jesus Was Way Cool. And the one about Gary and Melissa. That's a very borderline. Yeah. Another one about somebody playing in a sandbox, from what I remember, some kids, yeah. And then is there some poo in there? I can't remember. Cheesecake Truck, and the Buzzcocks Love You More as well on there. Well, punk album, don't really have a lot of punk. I went for this because it sort of has a punk kind of spirit to it. Yeah. Misspelt on the sleeve, Connor with ER on the end of it. Breaking Glass, haven't seen this film for ages, but a bit of a pop at the music industry, really, I think. And that is it. I haven't got any reissues of 2020. I could have chosen something, but I would have had the original, and there's just 3 shout-outs to people. Stefan73, over there in Holland. Hello, Stefan. He's been doing videos longer than me, definitely, but always comes up with some interesting stuff, which I haven't often heard of. There's a lot of disco, soul, dance, anyway. And 2 people that have recently returned in various guises. There's probably been more than 2. There's Nathan Bouchard, and also over in US, Tim Allen. Yeah, they haven't been around for a while. So hope you enjoyed my video. Thanks very much. Bye.